Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today we're going to be talking about age gaps. I actually really love age gaps. I'm still hesitant about certain taboo books. Like when I go into books, I'm like, is that going to be too taboo for me? But then when I go into them, I love them. So I think the hesitancy is just like me, I don't know, being a coward at first, because I've read so many age gap books at this point and I tend to really like them. So I don't know why I tend to have a hesitancy, but that being said, I do want to talk about some of my favorites, just give some recommendations for age gap romances. So the first one that I want to talk about is one that you'll probably have heard of, and it is actually book 5 in a series, but it's the one that I wanted to talk about in this video, and that is Inked in Lies by Gianna Darling. Gianna Darling, all of Gianna Darling's books are age gaps, I'm pretty sure, but I have read all of the Fallen Men series, and this is the one that I just wanted to talk about, particularly because I feel like when we think of age gaps in Gianna Darling, the one that comes to mind the most is usually Welcome to the Dark Side, because that is from such a young age to her being older. But I think that sometimes they forget this one as being such an aggressive age gap. This is Nova and Lila's story, and Lila was Nova's next door neighbor when they were young, and she is quite young when they live next door, and when they meet each other, Lila's older brother and Nova are best friends, so it's also older brother's best friend romance. And Lila has problems at home, and her and her brother end up going to live with Nova and his family. This adds in a whole nother side to the age gap, where you really see her having him as like a big brother type figure, where Lila likes him from the beginning, even before she really knows what liking somebody is. She knows that like Nova is the one that's always going to take care of me and protect me, and I love him. And before she even knows like what that attraction really is, she really fixates on Nova. And I find this one almost to be even more, not more taboo than Welcome to the Dark Side, but definitely a different type of taboo, because they do live together and they are technically like foster siblings for a while, and the age gap seems like more prevalent. I don't even know how to describe what I mean, but when I read Welcome to the Dark Side, I knew that they were older, and it reminded me a lot of like other age gaps where one is really older and one is younger, and it's almost like a father figure. But for this one, it was like a brother figure, and it was them living together also from such a young age that it's amazing. I don't even know how to describe, but it's amazing. And once she gets to be old enough, he's still like, no, this is not gonna happen. But he also doesn't want her to be with anyone else. So like she loves him. She still loves him over all of the years. And he's like, I can't be with you. I don't want to be with you, but I don't want you to be with anyone else. And there is something about this book that is just indescribable. It's so good, and it's so beautifully written, and like Gianna Darling has this way of writing such like tragic and not beautiful events in such a poetic way, and I saw that very very prevalently in this book, and it made it so good, and it is tied for first place as one of my favorite Gianna Darling book. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about is Flirt by Lucy Lennox. This one has a about 20-year age gap, and Stevie and Evan meet when Stevie's very young, and Evan is about late 20s and Stevie is like 7 or 8. And he is at school and he's getting bullied, and Evan is working as the assistant coach for like the summer, and he helps Stevie with these bullies and getting the bullies away from him. And Stevie kind of latches on to Evan and views him as like, this is the only person who's ever stood up for me in my entire life. And it progresses again when he is about 10, a couple of years later, and Evan is now working as a firefighter, and Stevie gets caught in a house. His brother is abusive. Stevie's older brother is abusive, and when the house sets on fire and Stevie gets caught in there, Evan goes up and protects him and is like, how did that happen? How did you get locked in that room? And Stevie feels comfortable enough with Evan to tell him about what has been going on at home with his brother. And he really helps keep Stevie safe, and Stevie really latches on and is like, again, he's never felt safe in his entire life except for the moments when he's been with Evan. And for an impressionable, he's a child at this point, for an impressionable child, it really makes an impact on him. And throughout all of these years, he is still stuck on Evan and is like, the only times I've ever felt safe in my life are with him. So now it's flash forward, and Stevie is in his early 20s and he works at a bakery, and Evan is still a firefighter, and Stevie is gay, and he doesn't think that Evan is gay, but he still has not let go of the idea that Evan is who he wants to be with. And it is a very, very cute story. I really, really liked it. And Stevie is so awkward and like starstruck in the beginning when he talks to Evan, even after all of these years of knowing him. It's very cute. And Evan comes in every single day to the coffee shop to talk to Stevie and get a cup of coffee before he goes to work, and it's so cute. But it is only 135 pages, so it's not terribly long. The next one that I want to talk about is Backstage Pass. I think this is the only one on this list that is older woman age gap. This one is by Olivia Cunning, and it is a rock star romance. So Myrna is a professor, and she ends up meeting this band, Sinners, at a hotel where she's having a conference. They're staying there while they're on tour, and she is there for a conference, and she goes up to the band and starts to talk to them because she's a fan, and she ends up hooking up with Brian, who is the guitarist in the band, and he is like, I think the age gap is like 10 years. He's like 10 years younger than her. But it becomes a situation where she becomes his muse. So he writes a lot of their music, not the lyrics, but he writes the music for their songs, and he's been kind of blocked lately. And he starts to have inspiration while hooking up with her. And he ends up getting a pen and writing music onto her body while they're having sex. And it is a very, very sexy scene. And I absolutely love this book. It's one of my favorites. And it's my favorite in the series, but I do like the rest of the series. But it is really, really good, and I love to see Myrna be the older woman and gain confidence from having somebody like Brian, who's not only younger than her but also a famous rock star, be interested and attracted to her in that way, because she's had such a hard past where men have not been kind to her. And it is really, really great to see her blossom with her confidence as Brian worships her. The next one that I want to talk about is Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. You are a fan of Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, I would definitely recommend this one, because this is the same sort of idea. So it is a 150-page story, and it is about a girl whose boyfriend breaks up with her, cheats on her. They're not together anymore. I think he cheats on her, and she decides, in order to get back at him, she's gonna go have sex with his dad. Yep. So Lily is the heroine, and she is very upset about the way that her relationship ended, and so she needs the revenge, and she goes to Shane, who is her, I think he's actually her ex-fiance, her ex-fiance's dad, and she seduces him. It doesn't take a lot, and there's all sorts. It gets even like more taboo than Birthday Girl, because it deals with like there's like a filming situation. But I would definitely recommend trying it if you are a fan of Birthday Girl and want something similar. Then the last one that I want to talk about is Kidnapped by the Pirate by Kira Andrews. This is another MM one, and this one is about Nathaniel, who is traveling on a boat with his sister to go to this new colony. It's a historical. They're going to the new colony, and the boat, ship gets taken over by pirates, and the pirates want to kidnap his sister, Nathaniel's sister, and he steps in and says, take me instead. He is the son of a very wealthy man, and he's like, my dad will pay handsomely to get me back, basically, just to like get them to like kidnap him instead. So Hawk, who is the captain of the pirates, says, yep, let's kidnap him, and they're gonna ransom him in order to get money from his father. Nathaniel is gay, and he has had suspicions that he's gay, and his father does not agree. His father thinks that he's disgusting. But he ends up staying in the captain's quarters in order for Hawk to keep an eye on him, make sure that he isn't escaping, that kind of thing. And Nathaniel ends up being attracted to Hawk, and it is really, really good. I gave this book 5 stars. Really, really, really liked it. And it is a great historical pirate. If you like pirate historicals, would recommend. Yeah, those are the 5 that I wanted to talk about. So let me know if you have any age gap recommendations. Always looking for a good recommendation. But that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Please give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe, comment. That's all. Have a great day.